Good evening. How's everybody doing out there? See, we got one person in there. Can you leave a comment and let me know if you can see me and hear me all right? I'm running the external microphone, a shotgun microphone. I don't know if it's working or not. But if it is, give me a thumbs up or a comment so I know that my audio is working all right. See if I can pull up the comments. I know I had a problem with them the last time. Okay. Says all my comments are visible. Got a glare in my eye. One thumbs up. So everything is working all right. Two people in here. We'll wait a few minutes and get a few people in here. Can anybody type a comment in there? I want to make sure my comments are up and working. I think I got it working all right. I hope everybody's having a good evening. Looks like the snow's starting to melt. Saltwater born. Yeah. I believe you're on Twitter. How you doing tonight? Yes, sirree. Need to make this thing go away here. It's covering my screen. There we go. I got him up now. Hi, Jody. Howdy, saltwater born. It's kind of hard for me to see. I got a light shining back there. It's glaring in my eyes. Dave's on the Roku TV. Howdy, Dave. Kicking back in the easy chair, huh? Good place to be this evening. It's a little frigid out there. Unless you're in ice shanty or something. That's a little bit different. Alrighty. So I want to do a live tonight and talk about a couple things. Got a little list here. Some things I wanted to go over. We got a lot going on this year. And I was hoping if you're not subscribed, please go in there and subscribe because we've got some live events that we're going to cover this year on YouTube. YouTube's letting us go live. And even though we don't have enough subscribers, they were kind enough to let us go live. But they put a cap on the non-subscribers. So they're only going to let 25 non-subscribers live. So if you're number 26, you're not going to be able to get in. If you're subscribed, you're all right. There's no limit on that. So at least they were kind enough to let me do that. And we're going to be doing covering like the big catfish tournaments in Indian Lake and some other events I can't give away yet. And we're probably going to do some lives while we're fishing just to have fun and maybe do some informative videos. There's a lot of stuff the last couple of years that I'd have loved to caught on live. It is just amazing. Flatheads, all kinds of things. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. Something for everybody to do. But excuse me. One thing I wanted to do, I wanted to thank everybody that was involved with Indian Lake Visitors Bureau and Convention Center. And they put out this, it's close to 100-page magazine. And to my surprise, I was featured in this magazine, which is really cool. So if you get a chance, you're down in Indian Lake, pick you one up. I have to find out where they're all at. But they've got the little lake maps out now. You can probably get them at your bait shops. These ones are pocket size. They also have the bigger ones. But here's the 2-page advertisement. And you see, you got me there holding a perch. But I'd like to thank the person that did the write-up too. I believe Tosh did the write-up for him. But it's a really good article. Tells you what you can catch at Indian Lake and some tips and tricks. And this is really a informative magazine. It's got all kinds of things that you can see and do in the Indian Lake region. So make sure if you're down there, stop and get one somewhere. I might just do, poor dad know how, rough fishing on the lake. Yeah, catching those saw guys, yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's rough, man. I tell you what, them saw guys you can catch all year long. You know, there's hot times when there's hot bites for them, you know, before evening. But typically, I can catch them all year. I catch them on small jigs, you know, but oh, you had a rough day fishing down below the spillway. How's that spillway been doing? Is that wide open now? Last time I looked, I think it was flowing water pretty good. But another thing we got going on in the last year or two, I paid close attention to a lot of bait makers, and man, there's some really talented people out there. I've seen some baits that just they might as well. I'd be afraid to put them in the water. I've got my eye on some I'd love to have framed in a case in a wall, you know, glass case or something. But I mean, there's some artistic people out there making these baits. But what I did, I reached out to some bait makers around the United States that I'm big on made in the USA. Always have been. Like I said before, buying American made products is not so easy these days. And I found some baits, some that you're not going to see up here, or I haven't. And a lot of them are crappie or panfish baits. Some are plastic, some are jigs, but designs that, for example, like some of them boys down in Louisiana, what they're using, Missouri, to catch them 3-pound slabs. So, and some of these are veteran owned. That's just icing on the cake. And kudos to the vets, man. We support you. And but what I wanted to do was bring everybody a different style of baits, different designs, creativity, and right along with that, supporting products that are made in the USA. And it's the next best thing you can do to supporting your local mom and pop shops. So these baits are made by anglers for anglers. So you're not buying from a big box store that's mass producing tons of plastic baits or whatever they're, you know, and the quality's not there. The quality is here on these. And so I wanted to add that to a segment in the fishing reports. Feature a bait maker each Friday or whenever we're going to do the fishing report, whatever day we're going to do the fishing reports this season. So, and along with that, use them out on the water, you know, film them on the water, and you know, we're going to catch fish. So, you know, get them on video, get some good pictures. And like I said, at the same time, bring some good product to you guys to take a look at, because I'm excited. I can't wait to start getting some of this stuff in the mail. That's like Christmas. I'm a kid at Christmas when it comes to stuff like that. And ice out, pre-spawn crappie, all that's just right around the corner. And my arms just twitching. I can't take it too much longer. I want to get on the water. Um, I just, being outside, right now, I couldn't just sit out in the wind and the cold with what I got going on with me. If anybody's got any questions or anything, just pop in there and say something. But I think I've been working on a couple different things for the channel to add some different things. I'm kind of restructuring some things, and things are in the works. I do think I'm going to add another bait shop, and from another area. I do a lot of fishing in some other places, and I frequent this other bait shop all the time. And everybody is always asking me where you get your bait and stuff at when you go fish this place. So I'll probably introduce this place to everybody, and there's some good fishing over here where I live too. So anybody's welcome to hit me up and come over here too. So I might do part of a tackle dump. A lot of people had asked me towards, I think, fall. I got a lot of messages, private messages that they wanted to know where, when, and how I was catching all the crappie that I was catching, what I was using, and I thought maybe I might do maybe a little bit of a tackle dump here on some crappie stuff, and kind of show you what I was having luck with. I mean, I used all kinds of different stuff, but then I've got some other things where I'll give you a little tip and a trick here too, tied into it. But I'll tell you, I've got a couple boxes of plastics here. All right, I think what I'll do, show you here, right there. I got 2 of these laying here. I probably got 4 or 5 of them in my bag. Let's see, where do I start? Let's start with this other one. See, I'm color coordinated there. Impressive, huh? Okay. So when it comes to plastics, I like having a lot of different colors. I think that's very important to be able to switch up colors. Okay. So let's start with one that I really didn't care too much for. This would have been the Joker. Okay. I just wasn't. I've caught a few different panfish and stuff off of it, but I was just not getting bit. But I'm not gonna hang that one up yet. So one that I was very, very impressed with last year, and I only have one left, if that tells you anything. And I don't even know if I have the thing to say what it is on this one. It's all boogered up. Well, it's something minnow. Hey, how we doing? This is a minnow from Bobby Garland. It's kind of a grayish, maybe almost a milky color, but more on the gray side. And it's ribbed on the bottom. Got a neat little tail on the back. If you can see all that. I had, when it came to that fall bite, this natural color, and this one's more than 2 inches long. It did well. I was slamming crappie, largemouth, and I got a real nice smallmouth on that. And I had about, I think, 5 of them. I went through 4 of them. So if that tells you anything, I mean, these were pretty sturdy. They lasted. That worked well. Okay, this body style shad, baby shad, I think it's 2 inches long. Mr. Crappie makes these, and so does Bobby Garland, and probably a bunch of others. But this one's kind of clear, milky on the bottom, and it's got blue and flake on the top. Now, that style minnow and that 2-inch profile, I mean, there's just so much action on that little tail, it just keeps wiggling. So you can imagine what it's doing in a little bit of current or in the water, or being jigged up and down. That body style is killer. So that color and the chartreuse and black color in the same style killed it all year long. It didn't matter which color you used. Them worked well. Another one that worked well was this little, I think it's a 2-inch or 2 1/4, little paddle tail grub. And I believe that's probably a Mr. Crappie also by Strike King. That worked very well. Now at Bobby Garland Mo-Glo series, these baits are supposed to glow. I don't know if this one does or not, but that one's just a little bit bigger profile, and it works well. So I've had a lot of luck with Mr. Crappie and Bobby Garland when it comes to these plastics. And I usually use a 1/32 or 1/16 ounce jig head. So there's your 1/32 compared to 1/16. Now, this just happens to be another style of Bobby Garland, or another color, and that style. Them worked really well. There's quite a bit of action. Now, if I can find one, when boy oh boy, I don't know if I can find one or not. When things got a little bit tough, downsized. Here's another. Crappie Magnet makes this one. I don't know if you can see this, but the tails are split on them. I did very well with these. I used those towards the end of the season quite a bit, and I got on the crappie with them. Red and white was a good color. And of course, the Marabou jig. There's no replacement, man, for these jigs. They do wonders. I mean, they're just tough old jigs. They've been around forever. Old school's cool, man. You know, they work. Um, here is Here's something I wanted to talk about too. But those were my key players there. They worked really well. And when I started fishing, I'll show you some jigs that I used too when I downsized. But um, there's something else I added. If I ran out of minnows, sometimes I was getting a bite, just bare hook bite. Other times, you have to use a minnow. I've used a piece of night crawler and caught crappie on one of them jigs. But made in the USA, here's a prime example. Crappie bites. I probably got 4 or 5 jars of these laying around. I've never went through the first one yet. I've had for 2 seasons. So I picked up more. I wanted to make sure I had some fresh ones. They dissolve. They're probably good for 15, 20 minutes, maybe. These work. It worked for panfish. I've caught saugeye on a jig tipped with one of these. Channel cat, perch, bluegill. I think I've caught everything but a flathead with these. So they're $1.98. Where I get them at. It's worth having them in your pocket. I mean, there's a lot in there. It lasts forever. Now, here's a great little tip for you guys. And this has became one of my favorite baits last year. And for a reason. For a good reason. This is called a Shiny Hiney by Arky. It's got a little hatchet head. It's got 2 little tinsel streamers that stick way down. I think you get them in a 2-pack. And the reason why I like these, they got a red sickle hook on them. Hope you can see that there. So let me tell you what's up with this sickle hook. To me, I think I get a better hook set. I think I lose less fish on them. But the main reason is, if you can see the way these are shaped, that's a thin gauge wire or thinner, okay? I've lost so many jigs around brush piles and sunken trees, rocks. If you're going to be doing that, playing in that danger zone, get you a sickle hook. And reason being, that thinner gauge wire will let you pull that loose. It's going to bend out, but you'll get your jig back. And you'll be able to bend it back with your pliers many, many times without losing it. You're not going to break your line. So, believe me, I'm tired of losing jigs. It depresses me. Lose a favorite jig, day's about half run. So, then became my favorite. And then somebody dropped off a bunch of stuff in my mailbox. I still don't know who it was. And the story the plot got thicker. So there was 2 packs of these in that bag they dropped off in the mailbox. And I haven't seen them before. They're by Mr. Crappie. They're slab slashers. Okay. Now it's a sickle style hook. I was like, oh wow, cool. Perfect, man. I know some trees that'll just love these. So I'll grab one out of there. You can see once again, these ones aren't red, but that's your sickle hook there. Just got that little weird bend in it and a little bit thinner gauge. Perfect. So I think whoever dropped off these orange ones, and I think there was white ones, and with some plastics. And I'll tell you the rest of the story here in a minute. So yeah, they dropped off bobber stops, plastics. They dropped off some plastics. 2-inch lightning shad. 2-inch Slabalicious. It's like a little paddle tail there on the end. Whoever that was, thanks. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. 2 1/4 Slab Slanger. Slab Slanger. Awesome stuff, man. There was a Lew's lightning spin, I think, in the bag. I'm like, wow, man. I know my birthday's in a few days or whatever. So I don't drop something off for birthday present or Valentine's Day. Who knows? But I'm really gonna enjoy this stuff. And whoever did that, thank you. So a little tip here when you guys get out and start doing your pre-spawn crappie fishing, and I've probably mentioned this before, but if your work, definitely get you some sickle type hooks. It's a must. And make sure if you're gonna work a sunken tree or something that's sticking up out of the water on one end, it's probably the tree top that's sticking up. So your trunk's probably in the water, I'm guessing. There's a root ball on the end of that, all your roots. If that's down in the water, your crop, you're going to be most of them will be concentrated at that root ball. There will be some that are strayed on up, hugging the tree on up the water, but they'll concentrate tight root ball. And all that I call a danger zone. That's, if you pull one of them trees up, it's probably got a gazillion hooks stuck in it because they wasn't using a sickle hook. And so using a sickle hook will allow you to use a little bit lighter line. Also, a lot of guys will use braid. I stick with about 6-pound test. I usually use this Vicious 6-pound monofilament has worked well for me the last 2-3 years. I don't have any complaints. And I do like the high vis because my eyesight's not what it used to be. So it helps me see every little bit of movement in my line, especially if you're long lining, jigging, whatever. You can watch your line. But make sure, if you're playing on a tree there, make sure you're casting out past it. Bring your jig, retrieve it in towards you. If not, you're gonna scare them. If you just plop it where you think they're at. Docks are the same way. Make sure you work around the outside of the dock before you ever pitch underneath of it. Or they're just, you get the ones that are hanging out around the outside first. If you pitch the middle, a bunch of them are going to shoot out of there. Where there's one, there's probably a lot more under there, at least a couple. Yeah, you definitely don't want to spook them. When I get up under that dock, I want to give them two options: fight or flight. Smack them in the head. So I've got some jigs. I'll tell you right here. Oh, here we go. This case, it's a two-sided case. This is probably one of the best little investments I ever made. Waterproof. Put tons and tons of jigs in here. It depends on how you want to organize them. But I wanted to go. There's times where I don't want to tote a bunch of stuff. You know, I can grab my pole, grab this box sticking in a pair of cargo pants, a jar of these and some wax or whatever, and not have a lot to carry because, you know, I usually got a tripod or something with me too with a camera. So this is great, man. And when I was talking about downsizing, when the crappie got tough, these work good. They come in a tube. You can find these at about any bait and tackle shop. I call them little pintail, little micro jig, and these work well. They've got a lot of action to them. The bluegill will tear them up too. So, but start out with them bigger baits. If you start out with a small bait like that, and all you're getting hit is bluegill, and you're trying to get to a crappie, you need to go up to 1/16 or 1/32 ounce jig to drop them. Creek Warrior Vicious line is great. Also, crappie max line from BPS. You can get like 2,500 yards. How it is, 4 pound per. Yeah, heck yeah, man. That's what I bought the big spool here. It was only like $2 more than the small spool. I was like, I use one of them all year. And I respooled a lot. So I'll finish that story about somebody dropping stuff off. So there was in the pack with, or in that bag with all those baits and hooks and stuff, there was this Lew's, I think it's a speed spin, laser speed spin. Okay. About 2 days later, I went out to go look around my boat. I usually just go check it out, make sure nobody stole anything. There's a B&M pole sticking up out of one of my pole holders. So I now have a 10-foot B&M. I paired the Lew's with it. It's pretty light. I really don't think it's as balanced as my ACC crappie stick, but we're gonna find out. I think I'll enjoy it anyways. It's a 10-footer. I think it'll work well jigging off of my boat or on the bank. And then I've got the 8-foot ACC crappie stick, which I enjoy. It's just enough pole you can handle, and it's real light, not too long. And then I've got the Beast. It's a 12-foot Wally Marshall Signature Series Mr. Crappie rod. That one's got a little bit of weight to it. I ain't gonna lie. It could be a little cumbersome, but it works well. I take that one, stick it in a pole holder, you know. But so let's get down to these jigs. Some of the jigs, well, I might have to get this down. I lost all of them. One of my favorite ones last year, Mike's Bait and Tackle down Indian Lake. This gold jig, it's gold plated. It's not powder coated. It's actual gold plated, gold head and hook. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it's kind of almost like a golden black bumblebee. I'm gonna tell you what, that thing shimmers in the light. I tore up perch, crappie, bass, white bass, sawguy. I caught sawguy on it. That's the only one I got left. But I really enjoyed this jig. I like that. And I'm going to try to get some more of them. Like last time somebody watched, I think me and Tosh was catching a bunch down there. A bunch of people went in and bought big sleeves of them from him, wiped him out. So, pull the stand up. Okay. So, that was one of them. Something else that really worked well for me last year, and these were all, I don't know if you can see these spiders. You can see these little spiders in this row. They're all custom hand tied. Mike makes them down. I've used every different color. I think I'm missing a black one. Yeah, I lost the black one. There's a couple different sizes of them. They killed everything. I mean, especially early spring, they were just tearing them up. But that and of course, Mike made me my own signature series jig, All American. Red, white, and blue, folks. That's mine. And I should have another one coming out sometime this spring for crappie season here. But lighting ain't the greatest in here. But yeah, he made me some signature series baits there. I think the other ones from Mike, I've used a bunch of them, and there's a bunch up there on his wall I've never even touched. The green, there's one that looks like a Christmas tree. It's kind of just a red and green. Believe it or not, that one I thought that might not do much, but it did. That one worked well. Any one of these chartreuse or the silvers also work very well too. And I've got them pretty chipped up from throwing them right at rocks. They went through their paces. So, like I said, there's two sides to this, and you can kind of see what I keep in there. I keep a few little micro jigs in there too. This type of jig, these little rattle traps or whatever, these work well. I've got some other micro jigs in another box somewhere for crappie. I used them a little bit last year at the reservoir. They always work. I just try to keep a variety of size of jig heads in there, and never have enough jigs and plastics in different colors. Let's see what else. I hate to. If I had time, I'd dump every tackle box I had and show you. There's just so many different styles of jigs. I have yet to try. I've got some jigs I need to try, or some plastics, like, that type of style, and a few different things. I just can't wait to get back out there. I need to respool a few more rods and reels, and so, like I was telling everybody else earlier, if you wasn't in here, if you're not subscribed, make sure you go in there and hit that subscribe button and that little alert bell, It'll notify you when a video comes up. Um, because we're going to do a bunch of live streams this season. Um, the big catfish tournaments, we're going to do them from as far as I know. I think we're still going to do them. I have to get with Tosh or whatever and let you guys know the dates. But we're going to schedule to do them. That should be fun. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. If we're going to do, I'm not just going to let the camera run. I think we're going to do some key moments or something, like an overview and then part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, weigh in throughout the night or whatever, the day. And while I'm there not doing anything, I'll be doing something. I probably be doing some fishing myself. So either I might live stream some of that or get some clips to put a video together. I ain't gonna lie, folks. Sometimes it's not that easy getting things on film, but I was lucky last year. It seemed like any time I went out, I got something put together, and it probably could have been better. I want to make better videos and bring better content all the time. I think the problem is you get your mind overworked trying to figure out what content you want to bring. So I kind of gave up on even thinking about it. I just go do it, hit that button. Fish, man, something will come together. And but I'm striving, especially with the equipment that I have. I had a new action cam that I only used like maybe 3 times, and it black screened on me. It shot, which bummed me out. So everything I'm doing now is off of my phone with a shotgun mic on it. So the audio is crystal clear. To me, it is. But I'm using a phone, and a lot of people are doing. Really like. I made a. I'd like to have an action cam, but right now it's kind of out of my budget with what's going on with me. But a lot of people use their phones and make some cool stuff. I'll just keep using it. But yeah, definitely, folks, make sure you get in there and get subscribed. And like I was saying earlier, YouTube was nice enough to let us start doing live streams, but they put a cap on non-subscribers. They're only going to allow 25 non-subscribers to view our live streams at one time. So if you're number 26, you're not getting in. It's just the way they're doing it. I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. So, but that's all right with me. There's no limit on the subscribers, as many as you want. So we'll still get probably a ton of views. There's a lot of events going on this year around the lake. And if you guys have paid attention, that's a great community. I mean, they all help each other out down there. Of course, there's always going to be that person, but it's a tight knit fishing outdoor community. Kudos to Tosh down there. He's got a youth program put together through the state. I kind of touched upon some of it in some earlier videos without saying too much about it because all that was in the works. But the state came to him and they wanted to revive a fishing program for the youth. Hey, thanks, Creek Warrior. I appreciate it, man. Um, they wanted to revive that youth fishing program, and Tosh does a lot for the youth. He does giveaways every week. If you're not on Indian Lake Fishing Reports Facebook, that's Tosh's page. It's not mine. I do YouTube. So, but that is his Facebook page. If you have a child, a grandchild, brother, sister, whatever that wants to get involved in fishing, you want to get them out of the house, off the computer games, away from the TV, get them out there, teach them some skills, contact Tosh. There's, I can't remember the name of the camp, but there's a camp down there by Bell Fountain, and I don't want to speak out of turn on this, but I believe that's what they're doing. They're reviving that program down there. And he's going to do some other things, probably locally around the lake. But it'll be a good program for the kids again, and that's great. But he does a lot of giveaways. I think at least once a month, and then there's some other ones sometimes. I know he did some great stuff over Christmas for the kids. He's always doing stuff. So hats off to you, Tosh. You're always on the mark, man. Um, I want to give credit where credit's due. When I started doing things, it's been that way all through my life, but very few people stand behind you in what you do. I have a few people that I think believe in me or have stood behind me and supported me in what I'm doing. Ask me why I'm doing it, I don't know, but I'm doing it. And I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I'm always grateful. Things always come back around somehow, you know. Um, some great people out there in the outdoors type community that you probably won't meet in other places. Down, down to earth people, man. But I didn't want to go way too long on this video. I wanted to get on there and just kind of share a few things with you guys with how I was catching all my crappie and panfish last year, and maybe it'll help somebody else out. I mean, I could get more technical, but I really don't want to. This year, I think I want to concentrate more on that bank fisherman because most of the guys that are out in boats, they've got it down. They've got live scope. I don't use live scope. I have a handheld fish finder. I've got a hummingbird on the front of my boat. One thing I use it for is water temperature, and I try to find a school of fish. I can almost tell you if it's a school of crappie by the way they're stacked. I could be wrong, but I could almost tell you. And the depth. That's what I use it for. Um, that's about as technical as I want to get. Maybe unless I was fishing a serious tournament for big money, I'd probably learn how to use live scope because you'd probably have to just to compete. But I don't know, man, because I'll tell you this, and I'm not bragging, but this is what ran through my mind last year during a big crappie tournament on a lake. I'm not going to say no names or not, but there was a big crappie tournament going on, and out of the blue, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down there and bank fish, see if I can get on some crappie. I watched a bunch of bass boats come down through them channels where I was fishing. I hit a couple different spots, successful at every one of them. I might have seen them pull one or two crappie out, nothing they kept. I was pulling slabs out a foot off the bank and under some docks. And I thought, you know what? I probably could have placed in that tournament. They weren't fishing the right sides. They were concentrating on they were concentrating on brush, down trees. Um, I was getting them right along the bank at a foot and a half deep and a foot out, just jigging. They were slamming it. So there's nothing wrong with old school, you know. Um, but I didn't have no pressure on me neither. So I don't know. It was just something I thought I would bring up. You know, your day is what you make of it out there. And I probably said it before. Something else I would get, especially redoing if you're going to restring all your lines this year. Man, this stuff, Real Magic, I like it. Wintertime, it works great for keeping stuff from icing up. But I think you can get a lot better cast, smoother cast, the whole 9 yards. I think the line lasts a little longer. It does great. And I've had that for 2 years. Um, if you're crappie fishing this year, get you some of them little carrot floats. And then I would use a carrot float jigging, or if you're casting about as far as you can see that bobber. When I switch up to a float like this, is when I'm going to be casting further than I can see that little carrot float with my eyes. Or when that crappie bite gets really weird, you start seeing negative bites. That carrot float, well, I don't have one out, but here's a little round float. But say if he's using that and you got a negative bite, it's probably going to do this number. This one you might be able to tell because it's got a little stem sticking up. But what happens is you get that negative bite, that crappie bite upwards. So they're going to grab your bait or jig, and then they're going to swim upwards. When they swim upwards, your bobber's going to tip over like this. That's called a negative bite. He's on there. That's why I like these. You'll be able to tell real quick from quite a ways out if you fishing ways out. Also like using these if I'm going any deeper than say 10 or 12 foot. So good slip bobbers. Another little secret. I don't have any out here. I probably lost them. A black carrot float, solid black. Or if you take a bobber like this, take a black marker and mark this whole bottom black when you're fishing shallow, jigging, fish shallow, whatever. That'll help you keep from spooking them shallow fish. They're a little sketchy. I don't think they see that black as well as they do some of them other colors. So that could be a good little tip for you there. So get your black markers out and paint the bottoms of your bobbers. So well, if anybody's got any questions, man, hit me up on them. I'll try to answer them. Other than that, man, I hear a pot of coffee calling me, and I'll probably restring a pole. Never know, might get an ice out here one of these days real quick, and I hit the reservoir. I'll be making it down to the lake here probably pretty soon. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming in here, and I'm going to get some things together here. We're still working on when we're going to start doing the weekly fishing reports for Indian Lake. I did not do them this winter, and I had a reason for not doing them. I went ice fishing the first time in my life this year. Okay. And it was all new to me. I didn't want to be the one on there. Okay, for no matter the time that we really get here to ice fish, we don't get a lot. There's some the more experienced guys probably out there right now. You know, to me, it's sketchy being new. So I don't the guy saying, "Hey, man, you guys are catching blah 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 over here over there." I'd hate to see somebody fall in that I told that to them. You know, I just I don't know. I feel uneasy about it, so I decided not to do. Maybe next year, maybe different. I don't know, but we're working on trying to figure out what night. Or they know how to keep making videos. I'll try to hook you up on this water this year. Yeah, yeah. Fort Ed, Ohio. Yeah, yeah. I hope I run into you this year. I made a few new friends down there last year. We had a great time. We do plan on doing some get-togethers this year. Got something special going on there too. Wobber's mustard. I'll just give you a little hint. I have a friend. They call her the Queen of Mustard. I grew up with her. Just went to school together. Just lived down the road. I ran around with her brother. Um, Contacted her. And she hooked us up. I'm saying us with Wobber mustard products. Got them hid over there in Tasha's garage. So just waiting for us to put on a little event. So we're gonna do some things. We'll get them around. We're trying to figure out what day this year we want to do the fishing reports. So if you guys have any suggestions on what day, if you want them in the morning or at night, I I don't want it to. Let me think how to say this. Don't ask me to do it on Saturday. It ain't gonna happen, man. I'm gonna go fishing. There's what I wanted to say. I don't want it to cut into my fishing time. That's why I feel sorry for the guys that are doing the bait shops. They're making all the bait and tackle, and when I go in and talk to Mike, he's like, "Hey, you need to run the store so I can go fishing." Sorry, man. I'm just here to get some jigs, some minis, but you know, um, yeah, I feel sorry for them, man. And them are the guys that love to fish. That's why they're making baits, is because they're anglers. They know what's up. So, but yeah, I mean, if you guys got any suggestions on what days, whether you'd want to see it in the morning, afternoon, night, or whatever, I may do some lives. I may do the fishing report live. And especially if I'm down at the lake, you're going to see a live fishing report. It'll be just that easy. I could do it while I'm fishing. I could do it while I'm at Mike's at the bait and tackle shop. Whatever. We can get creative with it. Probably go jump spots, hop around and show you what's happening. I don't know. We can do a million things. So, but yeah, think about that. If you guys throw me some suggestions down there, I will post this video. It'll take me just a little bit to do it, but I can go back in here after I quit. I can go back in and somehow, I don't remember how to do it, but somehow I can take this live video and it'll go up on my page as it'll say live, but it'll be as a regular video. So whoever can go in and watch it, rewatch it, whatever. And so I'll put that up there. And if you guys want to comment on some ideas or whatever, even if you got ideas for some events or anything like that, like I said, we held a kind of like a first annual YouTube meet and greet, and then it kind of grew that day because we had a couple bait makers showed up, and I made some new friends. So did everybody else A couple of bait makers gave some stuff away, which was really cool, man. I didn't expect that out of you guys. I hope everybody that got some of that's enjoying it. If you haven't yet, enjoy it this year. Um, but yeah, throw some suggestions at me, and if things are doable, I'll do it. But we're gonna have a good time and do some different things this year. So, um, unless anybody has anything to say, man, I think I'm gonna cut it and get me some coffee and probably make a snack, tear a pole apart. So, hey guys, I appreciate all of you coming in here and watching. Till next time, tight lines. We'll see you on the water. And if I can figure out how to turn this off again. All right, man. Good night, everyone.